Good evening, United States of America. It is I, James Let's Play 124, House of Representative Congressman. I am the leader of all of the branches, even YouTube. I own everything. I get a lot of money from them, which is the best part of this presentation so far. So, it is confirmed that as of the last time I checked, all 50 states have the coronavirus. That includes West Virginia. And, I'd like to thank, the John Hopkins map for being real and not giving my MacBook Air some viruses. I'd like to, give a prayer to our lovely West Virginians by, playing one of their favorite songs for them. It has been confirmed that all 50 states have the coronavirus now. I'd just like to play a little bit of this copyrighted song. This is for the Virginians. So yeah, now all of our 50 states and West Virginia now have the coronavirus. Our troopers, West Virginia. Here we go. Thank you. That's just what I wanted to point out for this part of the video. Hey guys, this is gonna be a little bit different than the other videos. It's for school. Wait, I've already done that. So, it's a little project and it's for extra credit. And so basically it's about anything. So I'm gonna be doing a review on my MacBook Air. Yes, that's right. I'm that crazy on Apple. Before we do that, I just like to point out something of how many Apple products I own. Apple, 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 and Apple. Oh, and also Apple, 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 and Apple. That's a lot of Apple. Shh, this is for later. That's for later. Back to the sub count. So what makes this the best laptop I've ever used? Well, because Apple. Well, besides that one, it's the second longest one I've used, and it's the one that's lasted the second most. That one down there didn't even last 6 months. Starting off, it was the first computer I ever used that was Mac related, to be honest, and gave me a nice tour of Mac OS, because it's way different from Windows. And personally, in my opinion, you need both. You need Windows if you really want to do some true gaming, unless it's me, and you need Mac for the video editing, for me, because I don't know how to use Adobe. So what do I use to edit my videos? Well, it's a very expensive application. The application Final Cut Pro. As you can see, I started editing a very important video that's going to be coming out in the next coming, hopefully, month. I could use iMovie, but you could do more with Final Cut Pro. That's why I chose it. And on Apple's website, it's $299. Did I definitely pay for that editing software? Of course I did. Doesn't everyone else do that? Here's one of the good features about it. See this? It's one of the older ones, so it does this. Cool, right? It's like a mini flashlight. Look at that light! And it changes when you higher or lower the brightness. Now let's get on to things like the specs and features. If you see on this side, it has what most Macs that don't have today now. This is the charging port, which Macs don't have anymore. It's pretty cool, and if we're being honest, I think Apple should do this with their iPhones, cause it's a magnetic charger, so if you trip over it, it just completely yanks out without literally taking the stuff with it from like a normal Windows computer. Unless it's MagSafe 1. You trip over a Windows computer wire, that computer's going straight down and losing its charging capabilities. But when you trip over a MagSafe charger, you take the wire and that's it. Unless you were me about 5 months back, where when you unplugged it, it died. Then you got your USB port, headphone jack, and your microphone. Then switch to this side, the most important one, the SD card reader, another USB port, and if I ever need more, I have a dock or dongle. Yep, not even the 2016 ones with the Thunderbolt USB-C, and I even use a dongle. And what is this? This one right here? That is a Thunderbolt cable, so if I ever want to plug in my iMac or anything else, I can do that. You know, it's the only laptop I've ever used this thing with a case on. My Windows ones, nope, no case for them. MacBook, yes, a case. Duh. It's more expensive, so you need to keep it protected. My MacBook is worth $210 for trading for the new one. Now let's move on to some of its specs. Right now, it's running the current macOS version, Mac OS X 10.15 Catalina, an island where I want to live on. Then, under the name, it's MacBook Air because of how thin it is. The 13-inch 2015, which means this computer is 5 years old. And next up, it has a 1.6 gigahertz dual core processor, i5 from Intel. Next up, it has 4 gigs of memory, where my iMac over here has 16. Kinda runs a little bit better. Now for my graphics card. It's an Intel HD Graphic 6000 and 1536 megabytes. And you're not seeing my serial number because obviously. It has 121 gigabytes on it. My iMac has like more than that, by like 100. And it's decent for video editing. I don't use all the space like before I resetted it with everyone because it wasn't mine. There was 3 other profiles on this computer before I got it, and when I edited, it was horrendous. Even when I tried to post a certain series on my channel, editing a 10-minute video, but only getting 3 minutes into it would say my disk is full. Sometimes when I edited one of those videos, I would lose all my gigs, so there'd be 0 gigs free. It would freeze, I'd reset, it would kernel panic, and then delete like a gig worth of stuff. That inspired me to erase the entire SSD to make it my own. Now I get 74 gigs available. It would be more, but the system and the others is a little bit more. And then I'm pretty sure it doesn't have AppleCare because it's 5 years old. And it runs decent for a 5-year laptop. But you know, I've only had one problem with it, the battery. The original battery on it has been replaced so far, and it's on to its second battery already. But it's 5 years, what would you expect? It happened sometime last year, and then it would just stop, so I always had to use it while it was plugged in, and then every time I unplugged it, it would die. I even used it for like a week without the battery in it, and it was horrendous, because when you take the batteries out of Macs, the CPU performance is cut down by half, making it slow and horrendous to update or edit on Final Cut. But back in December, I put a new battery in, and it has 13 cycles on it as of right now. It was brand new, and it holds up great. It goes from 100 to 0. Now it's basically normal, and it's worth $210 with the charger if I want to trade it in to get the new MacBook Air, which is what I want to do. So the new MacBook Air is $1,009, I think. And if we minus it by 210, I know that if I trade in this MacBook Air to go for the new 2019 MacBook Air, it would be worth $210, which means it would only be costing me $899 out of pocket to get the new MacBook Air, which is decent. So yeah, that's basically my MacBook. Thank you guys for watching, and I better get an A. What? I can get a G7X Mark II or a new MacBook Air. I think I kind of want to get a new MacBook Air than a G7X. I already have a camera that I hate. Wait, I already have a camera that's kind of decent for me right now as a vlog camera. And this thing is okay for me to record videos with because I like this one. This one's probably I'm probably gonna use both whenever.